are now live. Alright, here we are back on the way to Hunter. I told you earlier that I would be doing another stream this afternoon with White King. We now have White King on the mic. Say hi, White King.
Hey, everyone.
What we're going to be talking about as we go through the game and try to find what we're looking for, we're going to talk about what the game needs and the few quirks that it has that we think should need fixed. And you got my opinion pretty much a little bit ago on a lot of the subjects. So I'm just going to turn it over to White King and let him put in his 2 cents on everything. And it's all yours, bro.
Hey, alright, so unfortunately I wasn't here for his stream earlier, so I'm probably going to say some things that he's already covered. But let's start, I guess, with this story mode. On the first map that you do, not Transylvania, the Northwest Territory. Cross and I both have completed the story, every bit of it. And we have done every single side mission down to 2. My last 2 side missions is to kill a level 2 wolf, a level 3 wolf, and a level 4 wolf, and to kill a level 4 bear. I only need the level 3 wolf and the level 4 bear. And it's been about a week straight now of, let's average it out anywhere 6 hours a day on the days that I work, and who knows how many hours on my days off. Not a single level 3 wolf anywhere across the entire map, no matter how many packs we look at. Not a single level 4 bear anywhere across the map, no matter what we look at. Cross spent a solid 2 days on, what was it, 3 zones or 4 zones that you had for that big bear at that little pond?
All of them, the 2 resting, the 2 feeding, and the 2 drinking.
Setting for the entire 24-hour rotation. And not a single thing, not even spook one off, not hear one in the distance, nothing. How can you have that many zones in one area for an animal with its foot tracks set with the wind in your favor for 24-hour durations and not ever have a single thing? So, problem number 1. Let's see. Problem number 2. The tracking on this game is horrendous. You do shoot something and trying to follow its blood trail is just absolutely ridiculous. You have no marker of where you shot the animal, even though it's an option to turn it on to have a marker for where the animal dies. That don't happen, and the blood stains that it leaves are so minute that if you're in any kind of undergrowth, good luck to you. Either make it shine more, throw a cone out, give a tracking dog, do something, because that's horrible. Let's see, I mean, how many more things? I mean, there's, like Cross has said since the beginning, no tree stands, no tripods, nothing, and yet you're supposed to set up on the animals and call them in. That's kind of bad. Traveling miles and miles in between campsites and anywhere that you can spawn, that's no good. That's where you could have a tent or something to pop out to have that. The amount of lodges and campsites that there are versus the ones that you can actually get ammo and change your weapons and change your things is completely ridiculous. And until recent, this last little update, there was issues with trying to look out across areas and there not being any kind of landscape, just flat, smooth surfaces. Fortunately, that part did get fixed, but that was an issue for a while. And I mean, I don't know, Cross, we've talked about this so much and we went over it so many times. I know I'm leaving a ton of things out, but my main complaints is the tracking on this, and if it's supposed to be this real and this realistic, which is fine, we like that. Why are the animals not coming in where the game says the animals are? And why is nothing growing? Whether you kill the genetics, the game talks about genetics, so whether you take out the little ones that are kind of messed up, or not going to grow, or only one star and already mature, whether you take out the twos, whether you take out some females, it's not seemed to matter yet on the growth of the ones that are still there, or on them coming back to where the zones show for them to be. So yes, that's my main two complaints right now overall. Even above, I mean, I know Cross will argue this, he wants tree stands bad, but even above tree stands, just, if you're going to have the zones, have the animals there. If you're going to say genetics make them grow, make genetics make them grow. That's my main two things. I've set at this one pond now, waiting to see a level 3 wolf that was in this group when I shot the level 4 out of it. For a week straight now, I've come to this pond without scaring animals off, 3 hours before they're supposed to be here, in the stand, everything you can possibly do, and nothing's returned. So, I don't know. I don't know, but it'd really be nice if we got that sorted out. So, alright, Cross, what you want to add to it?
Maybe you want to throw your 2 cents in on the multiplayer.
The multiplayer part is, look, to the makers of this game, graphics are awesome. Animals are okay. Gun selection's good. I'm not hating on your game completely. I like the game. I would have never spent the hours on it that I've spent on it if I didn't. However, the multiplayer lacks more than anything else about this game. When me and Cross get on either my map or his together, one of the kind of minute things is, unless you pull up your map or can physically see the other person, you have no idea where they're at. But the worst thing is every zone that your friend clicks on will tell them, what was the words, Cross? I don't want to mix up the words.
Never there or something like that, can't remember.
Right. For your friend, it would tell them that the animal's never there. Yet for you, you'll still see often and all of that. Your friends cannot help you open up zones. Your friends cannot help you open up cabins and campsites. There's no assistance at all for you and the other person. And even furthermore, the absolute #1 worst thing about multiplayer. When we did this yesterday, so this is even after the update. We went to the North Right territory where the moose, there's a big collection of moose up there and there's little swamplands and everything. Cross shot a moose while on my map. If I walk up to that animal, it tells me the animal is not mine. I cannot claim it. Cool, fine. However, when he walked up to his animal that he killed and he claimed it, he cannot taxidermy it, he cannot sell it, he cannot do anything at all except for kill the animal and pick it up. So you're wiping animals off your friend's map, and none of you is making money. You can't taxidermy it. You can't do anything. Well, if you can't help open up areas, and you can't help open up campsites, and you can't help open up lodges, and if you're on there just trying to have fun killing animals, and the person who's leading of the map, it was my map, I can't do anything with the animal he kills, he can't do anything with the animal he kills, then what's the point? Well, why are you on there running around killing them to begin with? So, that's my #1 complaint as far as multiplayer. And if you look up this game, it says co-op even. Well, there's no co-op mode at all, period. It's just the multiplayer. And through every game I've ever played in my life, co-op and multiplayer should be two different things to begin with. And you should be able to assist your friend. You're both on the map together. You're both running around looking at the animals. Everything's set up the same for each person's map. Why is there no assistance? And why can your friend not claim the animal and taxidermy it and or sell it? There's no point in playing multiplayer. Zero.
I'm going to throw in there on that the sleep issue. You cannot change the time.
Yeah, completely forgot about that. He can't change the time if he's on my map in multiplayer, which, okay, you know, hey, it's my map, whatever. But neither can I. I don't, it baffles me how much is taken away from the game once you decide to do multiplayer. It completely baffles me. I don't know. So to the makers of this game, if you are listening, or if anyone's listening that does have contact with them besides, obviously Cross, he does, and we trust me, they know. Just a little bit, man. You've got a great game. You really, really do. And the territories and stuff look awesome. Just tweak it just a little bit. And man, you'd take away so many complaints and have so many people way more happier and willing to play the game. Go ahead, Cross. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Not to mention, if you do that, not only the people going to be happier, but the word is going to spread more, and you're going to sell more games. So you're going to make money off of it. I mean, you guys are so close on this game to actually having a great game versus the Hunter Call of the Wild. You got so many things going for you on this game because of the realism on most of the things. If you would just twig them and make it a little more real on some of the other things, and twig a few other things like the need zones. I mean, spending all that time. I literally stayed up for 2 days straight. Now, this is real life time. 2 days straight hunting that bear in them zones and never, ever, ever, ever seen that bear. Now, people's going to laugh because I was up for 2 days straight. But I was trying something just to see what happened, and, well, that's what happened.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff shouldn't happen. Now, I know bear scares because I live in West Virginia and we got plenty of black bears. And they are scarce. But you still do see them. They still come to their feeding areas and go to the drinking areas. You may spook them out of there, but they still go there. The wolves. How can you see a level 3 in one area and keep going back to you and not even see him anymore, but see the rest of them? I mean, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's stuff that, you know, if you would correct for the creators of the game, and again, like White King said a little bit ago, we are not cracking on you because you really do have a good game here. You just need to tweak it. And I know you're not going to make a lot of people happy or make everybody happy. I'm going to put that way. Make everybody happy, completely happy. And I'm not saying do everything we're telling you, but basically for, you know, the ones that watch my video, take and just tweak a few things that we mentioned and bring them add-ons in. A crossbow, a compound bow, a muzzle loader, a tree stand, a tripod. I mean, you could even, if you wanted to, throw in like a deer feeder, trail cam, anything like that that is more realistic to realism, and you know, just try it and give it a chance. I would even pay for the pack, or if you brought out as a pack, like the compound bow and the crossbow and stuff like that, and then have like a tree stand pack. If you wanted to do it that way, that's fine. But this is stuff that we feel that if you would add to the game and stuff that you would, if you would fix, would make this game superb, and you would sell so many more copies, and the word would get spread around. And for those of you who are playing the game and are having any trouble, if there's anything that we can do to help you, just drop me a comment. And you know, me and White King discuss this stuff all the time, and he watches the videos and he knows what's going on and he sees the comments. Just let us know and we'll get back to you on it, and we'll try to help you out as much as possible, even though we are having some difficulty on some stuff on here. But there's a lot, like you said, we have the story mode completely done, and we both have just 2 tasks left. And then we're done with everything on this map. Now that we haven't even started on the other map yet because we wanted to finish this one. So once we start on the other one, on which we've been waiting for each other on it, so we'll be started at the same time. We will stream it as soon as we start, and we will let you see us go through the things and watch how we do it and listen to us and see if that helps you out. And for those who have already been over to that map, maybe drop us a tidbit or something. I mean, we can help, all of us can help each other out. Basically is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Think about it like a hunting camp. You know, a bunch of people get together, they go out to an area, they hunt, and then at the end of the day they come back, they sit around and they're telling stories about what they seen and where they seen it or what they got and what they've noticed. Same thing. Treat it like that. Well, we're all in a hunting camp, and we're all on this map, and we're all doing these same missions, we're all going after these same animals. You know, like Cross said, we'll help y'all. We'll tell you anything that we can figure out. If you figure out something, if you know how to get the wolves to come in where they're not coming in, if you know how to get the bear to come in where it's not coming in, we're not beyond learning. We're all learning together. We're just trying to help each other out and have everybody have a good time.
Hey bro, I'm sitting here looking at a wolf that's, I don't know, 4 yards in front of me. Walk right up to me. Or not a wolf, a fox, I mean.
I'm back over here at this zone. I've been sitting in this stand since 4:45 in the morning. The drinking zone for the wolves is at 7 a.m. It is now 6:45 a.m. so far, because this one zone has elk and wolves in it. So far, there's not been any elk or any wolves show up yet again this morning. We'll see. Still got a few minutes. I usually set until an hour past time before I move on somewhere else, but it's looking like yet again they're not going to be here.
And for those of you who know anything about the calling in this game, and I said on the stream earlier, if you have any information on that bar, please drop a comment.
Yes. You pull up any call you want, any of them, and you've got a little box at the bottom of your screen. There's a long white bar. Well, the entire middle section of that bar is thicker than either end. You hit your call, and then this little arrow starts moving across that bar, and it'll go all the way to the end and then jump back to the top. You can't consistently make calls, meaning you can't hit R2 2 or 3 times to do like you would in real life if you were blowing on one. So when you hit it the first time and that arrow starts moving, I'm assuming the middle section is the sweet spot to hit it again. However, we've been calling them in multiple different ways, so if anyone does have the exact answer, that would be handy to know.
I mean, like we said a little bit ago, we are all learning. It's a learning game. And as King said, we can all help each other out to make the experience better on the game.
Absolutely. And you know, I kind of just said that off the top of my head earlier about like a hunting camp. That would be a pretty cool little idea to add into this game. Maybe for the multiplayer part. Maybe on the multiplayer part, have it to where on whoever's map they can name a hunting lodge and they can invite friends to be a part of that hunting lodge, and your characters can set around a little fire at night or whatever if you want to. The animals killed on each side can be put in, like if Cross is on my map and he goes out and he kills a massive buck and he wants to taxidermy it in that lodge because he's a part of my camping lodge or whatever, he can. That'd be a really cool factor that none of these hunting games have.
I agree. I'm sorry, Wolf, but or Fox, but you're gonna have to move. Although I'm about to step on you now.
Because, let's face it, on Call of the Wild, if they had a lodge big enough, the animals that Cross and I have on that game, with the fur types and the diamonds, man, we could have a lodge that would set records. Bro, that would be freaking amazing.
I agree. I just walked right by this fox and it's still just standing here. Gotta be glitched. Although it's making calls. Basically what I'm doing on the game right now is filling in dark areas. I had some pretty good chunks of dark areas. Looking like I'm gonna have to go in and rotate time here soon though. It's getting dark. Now I can get on here and I can get in stands and I can call in whitetail and I can call in mule deer and I can call in elk and whatever have you. I can call that stuff in and watch you shoot me stuff, watch me shoot stuff, but we're going about more of the technical stuff of the game and filling in like your question marks and stuff like that, and your dark areas and getting your need zones, and you know, trying to do the story mode. Well, the story mode's done. Trying to do the task, and as far as roaming the map, I mean, that's nothing really big. I am trying to do a little bit of management on mine. I do take out the call bucks whenever I run on the one. For those of you who don't know what a call buck is, it's a lesser buck that is not going to have, does not have very good genetics. Put it that way. And you can tell.
This game says that matters. So, by Cross doing that, he should be having more and more and more better bucks. Go ahead, Cross.
And if your doe to buck population, if you pay attention to it, there's going to come times where you're going to have to take out some does or some cows, because you can't have too many does, because that'll take away from the nutrition that your bucks are going to need to grow and become mature. And as far as, well, there's no breeding in this game. It's just a bit of spawn thing, although the breeding would be cool if they would rotate the seasons, but they don't. So, and have a rut. If you would have a rut in this game where the bucks are active and fighting and for the does and for dominance of an area, man, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. We were even talking about yesterday the zones for different animals. How, I mean, you got all these mountains. How cool it would be to find bear caves and wolf dens for their sleeping zones and everything. I don't care. That's the very last thing I care about being added to this game or fixed or done. It just would be kind of a cool feature.
Yep. And throw in some other animals. I mean, I've been on this map, and I do have a lot of chunks of dark area left. But for the most part, I have seen territories that actually should be grizzly bear territory. You could throw in a grizzly bear, bobcats. I mean, you could throw other animals in on this game because of the territories. And I don't know how hard it would be, but I would actually love to see a game come out where you can actually hunt squirrel and shoot them out of a tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be cool.
But again, I mean, we're not knocking real hard on the game. We're just, you know, pointing out stuff that needs to be fixed and a few tweaks that can be done to make the game more enjoyable for everybody, and a few things that can be added. Well, it is a good game. I have spent a good deal of time on it. And we'll still spend a good deal of time on it.
While I'm thinking about it, I want to point out one more useless factor. On this game in particular, there is 0 point in having it be completely dark for 12 hours. On the other one, Call of the Wild, I didn't like nighttime on that either. However, you did have a night vision scope. When you highlighted animals and chose to actually highlight them, it did put that animal in color out there on the field so that you still had something to aim at. On this game, once it gets nighttime, there's nothing. You can't highlight the animal. You don't have anything that allows you to see it at night. Why there is a 12-hour period to where you can't do anything, I have no idea. Couple hours before sunrise, couple hours after sunset. That's all that's really needed.
Unless you're going to go with complete realism and have it where you can't have a night.
in which case we need the tools to be able to do so. Equipment.
And why aren't the black bears spread all over the map? I am down here, and this area here pretty much reminds me of West Virginia. A lot of hills, and a lot of bottoms, and pine thickets, and stuff like that. There should be black bear over here as well. I mean, this is more apt for the black bear than those tall peaks, and those tall peaks is for the grizzly bear and stuff like that.
Well, and let's see. It is now 8 a.m. on my map. So I'm setting this tree stand, or not tree stand, sorry. And this build, this stand that's built over here by this pond from 4:45 until 8 a.m. with an active drink zone at 7 a.m. for elk, bear, and wolves. And not a single animal. Not off in the distance that hadn't made it here yet. Not down here where they're supposed to be. No calls, no trees, no cracking in the woods. Nothing of any of the three that all have zones around this place. And I snuck in here without scaring anything off. Stayed in this stand the entire time. Didn't even walk around in the stand. Got stood still with my guy looking off in one direction from 4:45 to 8 a.m. and nothing. Not a single animal. And this is the first time I turned this game on. I work overnight, so last night at 8 o'clock is when I turned this game off. I've not turned it on until just a few minutes before we got live. And this is the first place I come to, the first thing I've done. And I didn't shoot anything here yesterday either. So there's no hunting pressure. Nothing got spooked. Yet nothing is here.
And while we're here and talking about things, the calls. I want a different call for the wolves and for the black bear. They are not going to go out of their way for a distressed rabbit.
Yeah, I can see where that would work on the red fox, but
Red fox and badger? Yeah, great.
and cross for anyone who, maybe this is the first video you're seeing of this, maybe you've just gotten the game and you're watching this, explain to them about how that call thing works on leveling it up to being able to do the different calls for the different things.
To level your call up, you have to call in 15 animals and harvest them. Now what that does is you have to call them in and they have to get so close. Now I shot one a little bit ago that, I don't know, 109 yards or something like that, but it come clear across the bank and they come over and then you have to wait until they make a call back and then shoot them. If they do not make a call back, it will not count. So make sure before you harvest them that you hear them make a call back, respond to your call. But you gotta get 15 to unlock the second level of your call, because you start off with the first level automatically. And what that'll do is, here, I'll put my call and show you. Okay, your first level, the second level that you unlock will be low fitness males. Okay, that was what you'll get at 15 called in animals that you harvest. The third level you get will be a high fitness male, and that is going to be your trophy animals. Now again, there's nothing in here for your wolves or your black bear to call in a trophy animal. They are not going to come to a distressed rabbit call. They're going to come to a distressed fawn call. They're going to want something. Wolves are a pack animal. They hunt in the pack, they eat in the pack. A rabbit is not going to feed a pack of wolves. But that's your calls right there. That's how you level them up. You get level 3 at 30. You get level 2 at 15.
I always thought that was kind of an odd way to do it, so for any of our new people who didn't want to have to sit around and wait and figure that out, there you go. There's your answer.
It is 6:54 in the morning. Quite a bit before the zones become active for whitetail here. Well, they don't become active until 9 in the morning. And that's the thing with the zones. If you're going to have the zones and you're going to have a time on them, and that's when they become active, well, then the animals should show up then or shortly after. Now, I've watched the bighorn sheep, and again, this is from me spending days trying to find a level 4 bighorn sheep. I've actually followed a herd and watched them. They are usually an hour to 2 hours late to come into a drink zone. Now, that's why I was hunting them looking for that level 4. Well, now, since that I got the level 4, and I've been, seeing a few, well, they're not late. Why is there a difference when you're trying to do an objective than when you're not? There shouldn't be any difference. I don't know whether they were trying to add a level of difficulty to it, but it's come to the point where it's basically absurd.
I'm glad it is.
I don't mind a challenge. I've been gaming for years, and I feel that I'm pretty good at gaming. And I know a good bit about hunting because I've hunted for many, many years. Well, there's just some things on this game that really is not making a whole lot of sense. And things that I feel should be tweaked. See, it's like right here. I'm down here by this pond. Okay, and there's a whitetail drinking zone. That's the only zone I found here with whitetail, which, okay, that's fine. And it's often. So that means that they should come into it often. I mean, that doesn't mean they're going to come to it every time. But if you sit here for day and evening and and the next morning and next evening and nothing shows up, then there's a problem. But I do not have a tree stand, I do not have a tripod, and there is no stand built here. So you're going to have to basically just stand on the ground, which there's no real place to stand unless you get up on this bank like I am now. But if you hit your call, they're going to pinpoint you, and they're probably not going to come in. Where if you were up in a tree stand, they're not going to pinpoint you. They're going to pinpoint where it's coming from, but they're not going to pinpoint you. So they're still going to come in. But I'm sitting here, I got the wind in my favor. I know there's still a good bit of time before they come in here. I mean, it's only 7:19 in the morning. It's not active until 9 in the morning. So we'll just sit here a little bit and see what comes in. And I watched a video the other day, a stream on the guy playing the game, and he was talking about, you know, leveling up your animals and getting bigger animals, and he's talking about, like up in the mountains, about how that's not whitetail territory, and therefore they're probably not going to get very big, so it's not going to matter what you shoot up there. I beg to differ. I live in West Virginia. It is nothing but mountains, and they still get big. So I don't think that whole thing of being in the mountains on the game and you just shooting whatever you want to shoot in the mountains because it's not going to get bigger, I think that's bogus. That's just me. I'm going to do everything I can to get the bigger animals because I want to harvest the bigger animals. And if that means taking out a call buck or, you know, shrinking the herd a little bit to where the mature bucks get more food, which should actually, in real life, would actually help them build up their racks and get bigger. We're still not quite sure on how the game's doing it, but according to the creator, that is what is supposed to happen. I have not seen it. I have seen the same level 2 mature bear and since the game come out, and I still see him. I seen him yesterday. He has not gotten any bigger. He's running with a mature female, but he is still the same level 2. He hasn't gotten any bigger at all. So how long does it take before they get bigger? Well, there's the question in itself. We do not know. Nobody has put out a stream on it. Nobody evidently has figured it out. Or I just found the video because I do a lot of researching on the games. Because basically I bring White King on here, we get together, and basically what we are trying to do is to give you the truth about the games. What is going to help you? What needs to be done to help the game? That's what we try to bring in the streams, because that's what we want to do. We can get on here and we can shoot the animals, and we can do this and show you us shooting the animals and what we're doing, but we want to share our information with you, and that's why I do a lot of research on the games, and then we go on the game and we basically figure out whether it's fact or fiction. I mean, that's what we do. Because in the long run, it's going to help you in your gameplay.
Indeed.
I mean, I can go sit in stands right now and shoot mule deer, whitetail, wolves, everything, and show you me harvesting them, but we're wanting to basically just help you along your way instead of just showing you us killing things.
And for those wondering, I have stayed committed to setting in this stand that I come to at 4:45 in the morning, waiting for any of the 3 animals, although I am hunting wolves. It is now 9 a.m. So 4 hours. 2 hours past the time. Still not a single animal.
I do got a new place I want you to try out, bro. And
I'm willing to go.
I'm gonna pull up my map so you guys see where I'm sending him. So in case you're having the same problem, it might help you out as well. But basically what I do is I go to my map, and I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to him so he has it. Or if he's watching the stream, he can just see it on the stream.
Hold up, and I will jump on that, and we can save trying to send the picture.
Okay.
Jump on that, save trying to send the picture. Getting myself talk. Alright. So you where you're wanting me to go right now?
Yeah, you're gonna go up here. You'll see
top, middle.
Yeah, you'll see she devil there to the left. You're gonna go to this little one right here to this stand, and then wolves will come in from down this way, and they'll walk that far side of the pond from that stand, and see what you have come through there.
Wait, hold on. Go up there into that slightly shaded area or wherever that stand is and zoom in a little bit. Okay, that was off too far to the left.
Just see what you have come through there.
Show me a marker there. Alright, we'll go up here, reset the time, and get
there's a campsite pretty close there. When you're headed in there, be careful though, because they also they got a feeding area. Well, mine's got a feeding area right there to the right of that pond. And I had to actually creep in. Because I spooked them and I just stood there until they become calm again. And then I'd walk a little bit and then I spooked them again. Or not spook them, but alerted them. And then I had to stand there and wait until they become calm again. But I finally got up in the stand. They finally come into that little pond and they walked that far side from that stand.
Alright. This campsite is where I got the mission to kill the level 4 bear at. So I hung out around here for a long time, thinking that if I got the mission here, just maybe that bear will be around here, but yeah. The only bear I ever seen here was a young level 1 male and a mature female.
And I am playing on the mid-level difficulty.
There doesn't seem to be
A
very big
difference.
variance in between the mid and the easy. I started on the mid, usually always do. Drop down to the easy just to see, just to see. Does animal spook as quickly? Do they stand around? Is there more of them? Is there? Nope, nope. If you can tell me what the difference is between easy and normal, by all means, leave a comment because I'd love to hear it. I might as well just take the easy right out of it and just stick with normal and then more difficulty up from there. And makers of the game, again, I hate to get on you, people out there listening to us, please do not buy this game just because of these comments. Buy it, it's still a good game. It's just hints and tips and ideas for these guys that make it and do all the creating of it. When your person is walking, please take away the fact that they stomp with every step. I am a large man, and I live in southern United States. Mountains, pine trees, oak trees, I mean, you know, just everything all around me. And I can take a gun and a backpack, and I can walk out through this mountain standing upright and not make anywhere near the level of sounds that this guy will make slowly crouch walking. Just tune it down. Just tune it down a little bit.
I like seeing do away with the crouch walking period because I don't even crouch walk through the woods. I'd stumble over everything and fall and everything else.
I will say I have to get through certain little areas or to go under, you know, limbs or through little thickets or whatever, kind of crouch and squeeze off through places, but man, I mean, it sounds like this guy is trying to make all the noise he can when you're in a stance or doing whatever you need to do to try to take away from that. And our perks are full up, so I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, well, you got to walk so far that way and then you get quieter. No, no, no. No, we've maxed out everything. So that ain't the issue.
Yeah, the only thing I don't have maxed out is the vehicle thing, and I'm close to that.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Call me a liar. Strike me down with lightning, God, whatever. I have not maxed out everything because I have not maxed out the distance crawling on my stomach.
Oh, I didn't do that one either.
I have not done that one. But all the other ones are maxed out.
Yeah, I ain't about to do that one either. That's the distance is just absurd on that one.
I'm pretty sure it's 7 kilometers or whatever by the time you max it out, crawling on your stomach.
Yep.
No, nope. Not when you glitch and shake around and get stuck in stuff. No, nope.
Here's the other thing that absolutely drives me crazy. Now, I have noticed that they fixed the whole gun plopping over your head thing. And thank God for that, because that irritated the crap out of me. But when you're going down a hill and you're crouch walking or you're going up a hill, why does your guy bob up and down like he's on a trampoline? He shouldn't bob up and down like that. And then you can hear him stomp. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, man. And if you're going to give us stances that make us quieter, well, then when we put our people in those stances, they should be quieter.
And the sneak mode. For the love of God, if you have a sneak mode, how can you spook something off?
Yep. And it ain't like we're complaining about we can't sneak up within 20 yards of an animal. No, 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 no. I was on one hillside in the tree line, and you would have to drop down the hillside, cross a creek, and start up the other hillside through even thicker trees 187 yards away. And I was sneak walking with the wind blowing in the right direction, still alerting wolves almost 200 yards away. Really? Okay. And if we're going to have scent, because it is on this game, if you zoom in on your map and you zoom in on your character, you will see a faint kind of purplish colored smoke that is blowing off of your arrow. That's your scent and which way it's blowing and how far it's carrying. Give us some scent cover to spray on. There's nothing, there's no scent sprays on this game that attracts animals and or covers your scent. I don't know.
But, you know, we'll go back to, it is still a good game. I recommend buying the game. And like King says, this is just stuff that, you know, I mean, it's just our opinion on things. And opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
100%. And game makers and people watching this is what we do. This is one of the things we do to try to set us apart from the other people that you would watch. Go to Cross's page. It's not this game. It's not the Call of the Wild. It's not any of the Call of Duty games we play. It's not Gran Turismo. It's every game. We do this in hopes of giving someone ideas and improving things or helping someone understand, hey, it's not just you. We're not hating on y'all. We've both bought it. We both play it. We're playing it right now. I mean, it's a good game. It's just thoughts and tips and hits from people that have done it for a long time.
And for those of you who do not read the description and stuff and whatever have you, me and White King's been gaming together for over 15 years now. So we got a long track of playing a variety of games together. And I have done streams on racing games. I've done streams on golf games. I just got into streaming not a whole long time ago, but I do have viewers. I do got subscribers. And for those of you who like the channel and like what you hear and see, you know, just click the like button. And for those of you who are just now watching and watch the videos, feel free to subscribe. It helps my channel. It helps me with the creators of the game. As White King said earlier, I do have a contact with this game. I do have a contact with the Call of the Wild. So, you know, I can actually put my input in on things and let them know. And so just the more likes I get, the more subscribers I get, the more influence I'm going to have with these game makers. If the whitetail come in, I'm going to hit the call a few times to see if I can get one to respond, to show you how it works and to show you what I mean by how to get your leveling up on your calls.
And for those wondering, and Cross, I am in the stand at the pond that you sent me to. It's 5:50 in the morning. Nothing was spooked on my way in. And the wind is blowing to my west, and the zone is to the north. So I've got a decent wind. Nothing was spooked. I'm here an hour and 10 minutes early. I'll let you know the outcome once we get past that time.
And if I had a way to show his video along with mine, a way to flicker back and forth between the two, I would, so you can actually see what he was doing, but there's no way of doing that. I'm thinking I might move over on that little piece right there though, because then my scent won't be blowing up this off. So they may come down this hall to come in this water. I think I might be good to do that. Well, again, yeah, my guy's bobbing up and down. This is what we're talking about, folks. Look at him. Boing, 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 boing. Like he's on a pogo stick.
I mean, if only you could go into a third-person view, because I'm telling you, on multiplayer, we were actually cracking up pretty good yesterday, watching each other's characters walk, or I tried to lay down and belly crawl into a pond just to see what would happen, and I mean, it's like I was performing an exorcism or something. My guy's head was in between my shoulder blades. He was looking so high up in the air. It's quite comical how they move.
But again, that's one thing, you know, I went over stuff that, you know, just frankly we can deal with. And there are a lot that we can deal with. And there's some stuff that we just absolutely would love to see get fixed and happen.
Yeah.
Some might say we're nitpicking or whatever have you, but nah, we're just bringing you the facts about the game, and, you know, for the context I have with this game, maybe they're watching it and maybe they say, hey, that's a good idea. Maybe we need to try that.
Right. And I mean, honestly, we're trying to help the game makers out here. I mean, like you said, making packs that we would buy. I'm embarrassed at how much money I spent on Call of the Wild after buying the game. As a matter of fact, I bought the game twice because I thought one of those things was going to give me stuff that the other one didn't, and that was just me being stupid. But all the different map packs, all the different gun packs, all the different equipment packs, the dog pack, I mean, just all the stuff. You've got an opportunity, seeing as how we don't have all of these things, to make yourselves even more money while making us all happier and giving everybody a better gaming experience. So it's not just us trying to be like, hey, you know, do this, do this, do this. I mean, you can really help yourselves out too.
Indeed. Okay, we are now at 8:43 in the morning. Like I said, it becomes active at 9 in the morning. And I've never hunted this area before, so I'm not sure what direction they'll come from to come down in here. Or even if they even show up. Just because it says often does not mean, I mean, look at the word often. It doesn't say always.
Alright. Which again is why we have spent days, literal days, on these one zones in particular, for these one animals in particular, before we ever got on here running our mouths about it. Not like we showed up one time, one morning, sat here for 2 hours, and was like, animals never come in, I can't believe this. No, no, that's, by the time we're sitting here bringing it to everyone's attention, trust and believe, The time has been put in to the point to where it's like, okay, something's not right. And I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with certain zones not having an animal there, dead nuts on time every single day. Because in real life, if you go out to an area, you might have that perfect area, and for some reason, the weather, the animals, they got another area you hadn't found yet. Okay. But after a couple days or several times of going, come on, it's time. it's time for them to be there.
I agree. I think that's like the wolf thing, you know, like King said earlier, about he had a level 3 in with that group when he harvested the level 4 and how he doesn't see the level 3 anymore. Well, anybody who knows anything about wolves knows that that wolf is just not going to go to another pack because they will kill it. It is not in their pack. They ain't going to tolerate it. They will kill it. So wolves stay with their own packs. So where is that wolf? That's the question.
It was not killed by me. The times that we have tried the multiplayer stuff, like I said, yesterday we shot moose and a couple ducks to figure out that part. So it's not that Cross killed it and collected it while on my map a day or two ago. No, we hadn't shot any wolves. We hadn't shot any black bear. We hadn't shot any of the animals that we're going after, just for extra reassurance. So that's not the issue. I don't know. It didn't become a level 4. It hasn't grown. There's not another level 4 in the group. It didn't downsize to a level 2, which would be completely ridiculous, but let's just throw all the little options out there. It's just no longer there. I don't know. Go figure. And this game's realistic, but it's not realistic to the point to where as you're walking through the woods you come across dead carcasses, or you look out in a field and you see that a black bear has taken down a goat or a deer or something like that, to where one of the other wildlife animals has killed it, or it's gotten sick and died or something like that. I mean, the game's not to that point, so those options aren't a reason. Although that would be pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. I'd love nothing more than to turn on my or pull up my binoculars right now and look over there and see a black bear just demolishing something. That would be freaking awesome.
Yes, it would.
But no. Or wolves chasing down a goat or a deer and taking it down. That'd be so dang cool. But or like you said earlier, the rut. Setting off over there and looking out across the field and seeing two old bucks just kicking up dust, you know, just into it with each other. That'd be, man, that'd be awesome.
I mean, they did go with the trails on this game, which we've never seen in a game before. Right. And they do have, well, they call them feeding areas, but anybody knows anything about hunting, those are buck rubs. Those are not, I mean, not saying that the deer don't eat bark, because they do. But when you see a shiny tree like that and it's got shavings on it, that is where a buck or an elk or a moose, anything like that that has a rack, has rubbed on that tree to either shine up his rack or to get rid of the velvet, which, you know, moose and them don't do that. Or elk doesn't do that, sorry, elk doesn't do it. But that's not an eating zone, that is a rub, and what they do is they take and they'll rub their eye gland against that tree as they're rubbing the rack, and they'll leave a scent on the tree. And then another buck will come along, he'll smell it, and he'll either vacate the territory or he'll leave his scent on that tree, depending on how froggy he's feeling. And scrapes. That's another thing I don't see in this game and haven't seen in a game in a long time. I'm talking way back when. I'm talking clear back in 2000 when I played Deer Hunter on the PC. I haven't seen scrapes where a deer or a moose or an elk will take and they'll dig out a bare slot in the ground and then they'll urinate in it. And a doe will come along and she'll urinate in it, and then that buck will just keep checking them. And if a doe urinates in it, then he can follow that scent of that doe because they urinate in it and then they step in it. So that scent's on their hooves. And every once in a while, I like to refresh my hunter scent. I'll take and hit my triangle button and click off of it and then click back on it. It's just me, it's just something I do. When you're searching for blood, it seems to help.
Alright, yeah, 100%. And it's kind of funny you said that because of all the things we talked about, I don't think we've ever mentioned that to each other, but I was sitting here smiling when you were saying it because I do the same thing. Matter of fact, just did it while standing here in this stand, looking around. Don't know if it helps or not, but it definitely seems to when you're tracking blood, like what you were just saying. Which again is lacks some luster. we need some assistance with this whole tracking ordeal.
The whole thing about tracking on this game is they have the color the same color as the need zones. And if you notice, the need zones even match a lot of the landscape, so it's even hard to see the need zones once in a while. But when you're tracking blood and that blood goes through that need zone,
yeah, it's over.
Man, it is... you will get lost. You'll be like, where'd this thing go?
Right.
Because they glow at the same time. It's not like they're glowing at separate times. They glow at the same time. So take, and when you have, and first of all, make the blood splatter bigger. That is first thought most. I mean, just right off the bat. If it's a good shot, if it's a lung shot, that animal is going to spray blood back out of that hole. And make it a different color. Make it red. Not the same color as the need zone.
Okay. I got it. Makers, creators, I'm sorry. Because here goes one more little rant. The need zones. Y'all have put 100,000 of them on this map. Which, okay, whatever. But if I'm walking down a creek, or across the field, or anywhere that you have them, but I'm going to specifically talk about the creeks, just because. And for as far as the eye can see, there's glowing spots on the ground. And I click on the spot that I'm standing on, and let's just say it's for mule deer. And for the next 100 feet, everything I click on is for that same mule deer that I clicked on 100 feet ago. Can we not change the color of the zone once you have clicked on it so that it is different from the zones that have been unclicked on and unopened? so that you're not spamming your square button as you're walking down this long straightaway. And you say, well, then why do you do it? Because if you don't, at the same token, during that long straightaway, I've opened up mule deer, whitetail, blacktail, badger, and fox in the same amount of straightaway as I have opened up nothing but the original first thing during that long straightaway. And that's why a color variation from opened and unopened would be a godsend.
That or take, and when you click on one, it just, the needs don't disappear, but the place where it's at disappears.
Yeah, something. Because you can waste a lot of time walking up and down creeks and across fields, just square, 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 over and over and over and over and over and over for no reason. And then again, you can do it and open up 15 different zones for 15 different animals. So it's just...
Okay, well, then nothing's going to come into this watering zone. Which, you know, go figure. I'm going to actually go someplace where you can actually see me harvest an animal. Let's
I'm about to pull up my map and see what time it is, because throughout all this duration I have once again sat in this stand watching that area from, what did I say, 5:50, and it's now 7:40.
nothing come in there?
Nothing. And this actually has some really good views up the hillsides that are around this pond. So I've been glassing the hillsides and all the way around the entire pond to see if maybe it just didn't walk all the way down in here.
Right.
Nope. So there you go. There's one pond that absolutely 100% should have 3 animals around it that I sat at for 4 hours and absolutely nothing. And then I move over here to this one that Cross suggested, and I'm now set here for basically 2 hours that should have mule deer, fox, wolves, and elk around it. And nope. And I leave my hunter scents on while I'm in these stands, because as animals approach, a lot of times they'll make sounds, and it puts a white kind of echolocation thing on your map so that you can kind of know, and if you look at it, it'll give you a little information if anything's approaching. No sounds, no calls, no animals.
I got the wind in my favor, and I got some deer over here on the hillside. They're too far away for me to tell whether or not they're whitetail or mule deer. I'm just going to try to sneak in over here on them and make a few calls. Probably pretty close to 290 yards away from them now. Okay, and they are whitetail. As you see, there's a level 1 mature male. He would be one that we want to take out, definitely look at him. I mean, he looks like he's just a 4-point from here. That is what we call buck. And I hear a bear. And naturally, it's a female. A young female. And I do not see Any others with her? I do not shoot any of the female bear. It's pretty well pointless. You don't. I mean, you can sell them and get money off of them, but according to real life, you'd have to have a female to bring in a male. But there is nothing else with her. But I did actually finally see a bear. How about that?
Oh, you got one in an area, huh?
Well, this is a totally different area. I haven't hunted this area. Like I said, it's just a young female. And most of the time they've been running in pairs, but here lately I've been seeing a lot of single bears on the game. We'll let her go. Well, I don't see the deer over on the bank because I was paying attention to the bear. There they go. Now, the whitetail's not as acceptable to the call as the mule deer, but you can still call men. I'm guessing none of them's willing to be called in. They all just kept walking on down over the hill. But as you can tell, they're probably headed down to the drinking zone. And it is now 10 in the morning, and the drinking zone was active at 9. So they're an hour late getting to that drinking zone. Well, I'll continue trying to call one in. Usually the does are a whole lot more receptive to the call than the males. I do got the wind in my favor.
I have now left that little area that you sent me to, and about 1,000 yards off southeast of it, I had another pond, and the top of the mountains was shaded, and one side of the pond was shaded, showing me that I hadn't been there. So I figure I'll come over here and walk around this pond, see what kind of zones are here, and scanning out across the flat tops of this mountain, looking, making sure there's no bear running around or wolves or anything running around up here. And again, I guess that's another issue. You kind of hit on it with talking about the bear not being spread out, but you gave us 55 square miles, yet there's so much area where there's nothing. There's no zones, there's no prints, there's just nothing. It's a useless waste of territory.
And as you see, I got some coming in now. There's a doe. I'm all taken. Here comes that buck. Got a doe right down here below me making a call. Now see how that one just made a call? That means you can go ahead and shoot it. And I could go ahead and harvest it. I'm more interested in taking out this call buck. And as you see, he's 70-something yards out. And right there he makes the call. And he should be getting about ready to lay down, and he lay down there, and he will expire. He's still alive. If you walk over there right now, he would jump up and take off running again. So I'm just gonna sit here and watch and wait for him to expire, and then I'll go over and collect him, and that is how you get your calls, the ones that you need. You gotta wait for them to call back. As you've seen, I just took out a call buck. He is not going to be anything. Okay, just expired. So now I can walk over and pick him up. Those are the type of bucks that you want to take out of your herds if you're wanting to do game management, and according to the creator of the game, you're supposed to be able to do game management on this game. But as you see, that's how you do the calls. That's how you get your call thing ranked up. It does work. Like I said, the mule deer are more receptive to the calling. The moose is really receptive. The elk is okay. The whitetail, those are receptive. The bucks, however, are a little more difficult. But luckily, I got this one to come in. And now one of the lesser bucks is taken out of this herd. And as you see, you can pull the bullet trajectory. It just went right above the heart. Again, he was a mature level 1. But look at his rack. I mean, it's not even the same size on both sides. It's different. You got 3 points on one side and 4 on the other. He is definitely a call buck. He's definitely one that needed taken out. So good, I'm glad I got him out of that herd, so now he won't supposedly be breeding. But that's how that works. And to be honest with you, if I had a tree stand, I'd be in it before I ever got in one of them build stands.
Right.
And then, you know, give us the option to put the stands up where we want to put them up, not where you want them. They like, well, it's going to cost you this amount of money to build stands, and you can build so many. I'd be even happy with that. At least then we can put them where we want them.
So much easier, so much less complicated to just give us a dang backpack with a loadout where we can carry a tree stand, our guns, binoculars, calls, all that, and go out here and do what we want. Even if we couldn't have multiple tree stands and you couldn't leave one in a tree, which shouldn't be a problem. But even if not, even if you could only have one and carry it with you and use it wherever you were, whenever you wanted, even if it was just that.
Right.
Bro, this little pond here definitely opened up. There's wolf, bear, elk, mule deer, and bighorn all around this one little pond thing that I just decided to walk down to. The bear was rare, but yet had a rare feeding zone not 50 yards off the hill, up the hill from it.
Right.
And the gray wolf and mule and elk were all often, so.
I'm gonna say it was probably the same female bear I seen earlier walking up the bank over there. And again, right there is a level 1 mature. But if that is a mule deer and he has a really small rack to him, actually it's not bad size actually. I got the scope up an extra bit. Definitely not the biggest I've seen. No, I'm only seeing him and one. Nope, there's one. We got one buck and one doe and one buck and one doe. And the other one's a level 2 mature. Oh, there's another doe. And another doe. And another buck. Another level 1.
Okay. Oh, some of the territory that I'm crossing right now is just absolutely gorgeous, and the fact that there are not bear or wolves or bighorn or just anything walking around this flat, open, big rock, boulder, mountainous terrain with trees just kind of sporadic all over the place. That is a shame. But as much as we've complained, and we've tried to say good things and let you know it's not complaining, it's just helpful hints and tips and everything for everyone, I will say this. As far as walking up onto a mountain, crouching down or standing, and just looking out across the territory, kudos to all the people that were involved with the sagebrush and the trees and the rocks and the grass and the rolling hills and snow-capped mountains and lakes off in the distance. I mean, y'all really did very, very well on making some beautiful territory.
Yeah, above and beyond on that. I agree. I mean, I've gotten on some of the mountains and I've just stood there and I've just looked around and think, man, wow.
Right.
Okay, as you seen, I just shot one. There was 2 level 1 mature bucks there. So I went ahead and took one out. Left the level 2 alone and the other level 1.
I just walked down into this spruce thicket, and you know, I've hit on some elk zones before where it's just one little patch of trees that calls their feeding zones. Man, they've got like 6 different patches of these trees, 7 now, all in this one area. I can't even begin to imagine how many elk must be seen right in this area at one point.
Right.
Good grief.
I think it's a pretty good sized herd of elk on here.
Another black bear feeding zone.
Oh man, the blood and clear. Makes no sense. Broadside shot. I think I hit high on him.
Yeah. You'll probably be tracking that one for a ways.
Yeah.
This territory I'm in's absolutely beautiful, but man, everywhere I'm walking is bright red, bright orange, bright yellow, and dull orange and dull yellow grass and shrubs. Like, the last place I'd want to try to track something is right here.
Right.
Especially if it ran back there through that massive elk zone. As you know, y'all heard me talking across and heard me tell him that I was walking through an area that was still yet to kind of clear out, and you've heard me mention a lot of the zones I've opened, and I've covered almost 2 miles of area, yet without a single animal call of any species, without spooking any species, without seeing any way off in the distance or up close. And kind of one of the points we're trying to get across is, got all these zones, got all this area, it's early in the morning, I'm walking, I'm looking way out ahead of myself, and nothing? Come on now.
I hope that's the same one I shot the first time.
And again, something that would be so helpful if your friends can help you out. Like, I've got to go to work in a couple hours tonight. If Cross wanted to, for me to be able to leave my game on and invite him to a multiplayer map, and he'd be able to walk through a couple of these dark zones and You know, open up some zones or whatever, shoot a couple animals if he wants to, whatever, collect them, get money for it. And when I come back and got on my game, everything that he had walked through and opened while he was on my map be there for me, man, that'd be helpful.
Or even to locate the animal you're looking for. I mean,
just trust and believe, everyone listening, you are going to spend some hours, some days walking, trying to clear out all the darkness and get all the stuff open. They didn't do anything else. They did make a massive amount of territory. Thing about it, we've completely beat the story mode and have done every task except for two very small ones, and I'm still running around in dark areas that I haven't been through. that's crazy.
and as you see, that wasn't the same buck. I'm still tracking the first one I shot.
Well, one thing about it, if it looked close enough to the first one you shot, then it was one you needed to get rid of as well anyway, so. Mm.
Believe it or not, he's still bleeding. And I just jumped up again. Yeah, couldn't do a very good shot. I'm still tracking him. Now, when you're tracking these animals and you actually lose track of the blood, just go back to the last spot, put the red marker out, and that's way you can look around, and if you can't find anything, you just go back to the last spot you found it.
Yep. It's definitely something that I learned to do is usually as I'm walking, I'll randomly highlight the blood even though it's what I'm already tracking. I'll still hit square on every other blood splatter or whatever. And usually as I do, I'll just tap R1 along the way to keep dropping that little red marker just for that reason.
Whatever. I'm not done. Give me more blood from him. The other thing, if you're tracking an animal and you're finding blood, and then all of a sudden you not find it and you go back to the last spot where you had it marked and there's no blood, that means that the animal is still alive and is going to make it. And you do make bad shots on the game. I mean, it's going to happen to all of us. But just like in real life, the ethical thing to do is to give your best shot in finding the animal. I'm thinking he did like the does did. I think he doubled back. When I jumped them up, they took off one direction, then immediately turned and went back the other direction. I have not found any blood whatsoever out this direction. So I'll just head back to my last spot I had marked. Just gonna go back here and check and see if the blood's still here. If it's not, then we know that he's fine. However, the blood is still here. And it's actually showing him up over the hill there, I believe. So what I'm going to do in this instance, I'm just going to take and turn my 100 cents off and just refresh it. And just stand here a few minutes and see if I see any other blood signs down below. And as you see, this blood sign here is actually showing him going up this way. And I am not seeing any blood up here on this flat either. So I'll head back down in here where my marker is, and I'll see if he went downhill. See, down in here, there's not a whole lot of any grass or anything. It's just more or less hard ground. If he would have traveled through here, the blood would be showing pretty easy. So, not real sure where he went. Some of them did bust off and go up the hill, and some went out and then immediately broke back and come back. But whatever it may be, I have one in every direction, and as you see, I have not found any blood from that last spot. I'm just not real sure where he went. It's looking like this will be one that I've lost. As you can see, there's still blood here. I mean, look, a straight line of blood back there. Then it comes over here, and there's just, you got blood right here, and you got blood right here. But I do not see no blood in any direction. I went straight out and didn't see any. I went up and didn't see any. I went down and out and didn't see any. So basically, it's just
Yep, one that got away for now.
Yep. Unless we walk around and just lucky enough to run onto the blood, you're pretty well much at a standstill on this one. Just a bad shot on my part, and it does happen. But anyhow, I've been streaming for quite a while. You got to hear our inputs on things and learn a few things about the game and see a few animals get harvested and, you know, all this and that. But again, just hit the like button if you haven't subscribed and you would want to do so. Just ring that bell. But you have White King and Crosshairs on mic, and we will catch you on the next stream. Later.
Later.